What's going on, Bottom Line viewers? It's Mitch here with Dilly Vanilli, Kevil. We are here to discuss the Sunday Night Football game for week number 3. The Redskins took down the Raiders in surprising and dominating fashion. This was a statement game for the Washington Redskins at home. We're going to discuss that in detail, going over the players' performances, the statistics, just our reactions to the game, what this means for both teams heading forward, and also a couple of the other things that happened today in the NFL, and we'll just react to all that stuff. So, guys, first off, what did we think of this game? Was it an exciting game? Did we expect the outcome? What did we like from the Redskins Raiders?
I did not watch this game. I was watching No Mercy, which we'll get into later. Go check it out. Cheap plug. And then fourth quarter happened. I took a shit. I mean, there wasn't many things going on in this game for me. It was already over by the fourth quarter. So I didn't really watch this game. But when I'm looking at the stats, I look at the score, I'm shocked. Derek Carr, 19 of 31, 118 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. That's a pretty terrible stat line, honestly. Let's be perfectly honest. And, Kirk Cousins, great quarterback. I like this line. He had a quarterback rating of 150.7, so that's pretty great. But I wasn't expecting this whatsoever. I was expecting the Redskins to dominate and show Washington's downfalls.
Do you mean Raiders dominate?
Yes, that's what I meant. Sorry. The Raiders dominate against the Washington defense. I thought that was going to be maybe key, or Washington's offense wasn't going to get enough to get the job done, but they surprisingly did, and we're seeing the lack of competitiveness in the NFL right now because we have 2 undefeated teams after week 3. I think that's probably been a record for the past 10 seasons. I think there's been at least a couple of teams to go 3-0 through 3 weeks, and now we have the Atlanta Falcons and the Kansas City Chiefs as the only 2 teams, which is depressing.
Let's be honest, the Falcons, that was a bad call. It
was a terrible call.
They should not be 3-0.
It was a terrible call. The second runoff was such bullshit. So we're going to go with 1.5 teams. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, it just was a pretty interesting outcome, but the substance of this game was not there. That's what I'm saying.
It was a full moon today. I think that's the thing. I think that there was it felt like the world was distracted with other things. And the Oakland Raiders left their entire offensive game plan, I think, at home. They forgot it. Nothing was going right for Oakland on any way, shape, or form. We'll get into more of that. They couldn't run. They couldn't pass. They quite frankly couldn't defend in any way, shape, or form. The Redskins left turnovers on the table. They actually left points on the table. There should have been a far bigger blowout than it actually was. But Kirk, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, when we talk about elite quarterbacks, we might want to start considering Kirk Cousins in elite quarterback status.
I'm not going to say that I've already said that, but
But I'm going to remind people of that. Listen, this guy doesn't have – that's a great picture. This guy doesn't have the greatest receiving core. Most people will pick Oakland's receiving core over Washington's receiving core and Oakland's skill set. But he flung that ball around like it was practice today. It was outstanding. I don't know if we can go and say, you know what, Oakland, and there were people coming into this game saying Oakland's offense was comparable to Atlanta's last year and the 16-0 New England Patriots. There were people thinking that highly of the Oakland Raiders offense. And tonight didn't happen. And I'm going to tease you, ladies and gentlemen, Michael Crabtree's not an elite receiver. And I have stats to prove my point.
Nobody said that he is, Kev.
Nobody said he was an elite receiver. I said he was at least a top 20 receiver. That is
elite is like top 5 to me, not like top 20. But anyways,
that's an interesting stat.
Okay, so my thoughts on this game. I thought the Raiders were going to come in and they were going to dominate. I didn't like what I saw from week 1 and 2 Redskins, especially their offense. Completely flipped on its head in this game. Totally caught me off guard, like pretty much every game this week. This was the weirdest week in the NFL I've seen in years.
Long time.
This was very strange. After 3 weeks, I can quite honestly say that there are probably no good football teams in the NFL. Like, you could argue the Chiefs are good. Besides that, I don't know if anyone else is good.
No,
Alex Smith in 3 quarters was 8 for 8.
Who?
Alex Smith was 8 for 8.
Here's the thing. Nobody is strong.
And the Chiefs barely beat the Chargers when they had 4 interceptions.
Yeah.
What?
So, I mean, and I'm not taking a shot at the Chiefs at all because they're the best team in the league according to myself right now. But after 3 weeks, I mean, how watered down at this point is the NFL talent, like the NFL talent of these teams? Every team in the league has holes and every team in the league is inconsistent. It's actually incredible to look at this league. And I have no idea who's going to win the Super Bowl right now. No idea.
Bro, I mean, like we looked at the predictions coming into this game, and they were shit. And then after this game, they're even more shit because we all picked the Raiders.
See, Dylan, I don't know if this was like a rare week where every upset imaginable happened. So that as a Patriots fan, I was sitting there and after they actually won the game, I was like, wow, at least we avoided an upset like every other team.
Oh, and it was close. It took
I mean, like
the
same thing with the Packers too, right? So
it took 367 yards and 5 touchdowns from the greatest quarterback of all time to win that game. It took Aaron Rodgers to throw a touchdown, a pretty good long pass to who got the catch?
Geronimo Allison.
Fucking bum Allison over here in overtime, which by the way is 10 minutes. Didn't even know that until today.
And that was Aaron Rodgers' first overtime win anyways.
Wow.
But yeah, so just going off that point, this is a very strange week. And the Redskins continue to pile that on by dominating a Raiders team that all of us in the bottom line view felt like was legit after their first 2 wins, especially the way that they dominated both their wins. Sure, we had a little concern with their defense after giving up a lot of points to the Jets, but their offense was never in question, especially against a Redskins defense that I wouldn't say is stellar. I mean, it's pretty good. It's improved from last year, especially against the run, but I didn't expect that to happen. Like, I didn't expect them to hold Derek Carr under 200 yards. Them to intercept 2 passes. Marshawn Lynch only have 18 yards in this game. Like, what happened to the Raiders in this game? They look like I don't know, maybe they came in too overconfident and they needed to kick in the ass. I don't know exactly what it was, but let's go through the stats and let's try and discover what
Let me bring a theory up, and I don't want to bring politics into this, but I'm going to throw it. I heard an interview with Richard Sherman today after the game of the Seahawks-Titans. And they said that they were talking about what to do with this national anthem for over 4 hours. I think there was a lot of teams distracted today with this whole national anthem controversy. And I think that had a lot to do with what happened today. I think that there were teams trying to decide what to do, stand, sit, kneel. And football was on secondary in a lot of people's minds, a lot of players' minds today. I think we can just wipe it off to that. The Oakland Raiders are not this bad. We know that. I think there was a lot of distraction today.
I hope they weren't focusing on that for the last 5 days of practice. This takes 30 seconds to figure out in practice.
It apparently did not. Apparently, for some teams, it took more than 4 hours.
Well, then they need to get their priorities straight.
Well, they get paid to play football, but they get paid to play 3 hours of football instead of this. Granted, I like them to have their voice, but this shouldn't be the reason they've been losing games. Shouldn't be an excuse. That's what I think. There's just a lot of that's my hypothetical theory. You in the chat could all prove me wrong and say no, that's not true. But I think the content of the day proved there was something. This was a weird day.
This was a weird day, and it's not like the games weren't good because a lot of games were good, but in a way that we like. The games were good in a Rams 49ers Thursday night football way where the teams were so bad that the football was entertaining.
41-39. I mean, who expected that? And then Chicago and fucking
the Bears won with a 9 yards of wide receiver production.
That's amazing.
Mike Glennon threw under 50 yards today to win.
He threw 12 passes to the running backs, to his tight end, and 1 catch by a receiver. The fucking idiot, one of the guys from Chicago, didn't decide to return a blocked kick for a touchdown. The Jets won a football game today, surprisingly enough. The Colts and Browns.
Hey, by the way, I won the Survivor, guys.
The only Survivor pick in the week 3. Week 3. Can we restart? I mean, this is
like
bullshit.
8 upsets. But anyways, let's get to the stats. So, of course, Redskins rout the Raiders 27-10. Let's go through the scoring summary. Chris Thompson, 22-yard touchdown from Kirk Cousins. I told you it was a Chris Thompson day. This was a difficult day for fantasy to gauge everything. Luckily, I did start Stephon Diggs in my leagues. Luckily enough. I had somebody complain to me that they didn't start him because of what I said, but luckily enough, I did. And luckily enough, I said that Chris Thompson was going to be the guy for you to start, so that's good. Chris Thompson, 22-yard touchdown to open the game. Then you had a second quarter Vernon Davis, 18-yard touchdown catch from Kirk Cousins. Vernon Davis can still get it done, it seems, so even when Jordan Reed is down, Vernon Davis can step in. Josh Doxson, Dilly Vanilli, 52-yard catch from Kirk Cousins.
Where was the production?
21-0 in the third quarter. Then you get a Jared Cook 21-yard touchdown from Derek Carr. Fourth quarter, field goal, and that's the end of the game. 27-10. The Redskins dominated this one while maintaining possession. That was the big key of this game. Washington was able to hold on to the ball for a long portion of time because of how successful their air attack was. It's not like their running attack was very successful because P. Ryan only averaged 2.6 yards per carry. Chris Thompson did average 4.8, but he only rushed the ball 8 times. It was Kirk Cousins with 30 attempts, completing 25 of those attempts, throwing for 365 yards. That's 12.2 yards per attempt.
God damn.
Down the field. 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, was sacked only 1 time, and had a 150.7 passer rating. So the future 49er quarterback showed out right there in this game. Kirk Cousins was unreal. Washington, I don't know if you're not going to pay this guy, but Washington, if you don't pay this guy, the San Francisco 49ers will. So that's
these guys gotta be dumb if they don't pay Kirk Cousins. They've done this for the last 3 seasons. Pisses me off.
Okay, the thing about the Redskins in the first 2 weeks is I felt like they left a lot of points on the field. So I felt like this week they kind of put it together. You know, if you watch their first 2 weeks, Kirk Cousins didn't have his best games. He missed a lot of throws down the field. He missed a couple guys open in the end zone. Their offensive line wasn't as good as I thought it would be. And this week, they kind of put it together a lot, especially in the passing game. And it was a lot better in that regard. They didn't really miss many chances. And Kirk Cousins was on the money every single time when he needed to be. And that was pretty much why the Redskins were able to dominate this game. But going into their receiving stats, Chris Thompson, again, 6 receptions, 150 yards, and a touchdown. If you don't have this guy on your fantasy team, you should probably pick him up. Vernon Davis, 5 for 58 and a touchdown. Josh Doxson, 52 and a touchdown. Crowder, 652. Terrell Pryor, only 2 catches for 19 yards, continues to struggle. Interesting. But they still won the game, so he won't be complaining. Defensively, Zach Brown, one of the guys that I said was the best free agent signings this offseason. You guys can attest to that because I've been saying it for a while. This guy's a beast. 15 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. He was huge in this game for slowing down the run game. They had Ryan Kerrigan, of course, added a sack and 3 tackles for loss, as well as a quarterback hit and 8 tackles. Josh Norman did his thing. They had a quarterback hit and a sack from Preston Smith and also a tackle for loss and a pass deflection. So Preston Smith had a good game there. Jonathan Allen, the rookie, had a sack. Junior Gillette had half a sack. So overall, Washington's defense really shaped up well in this game. And for whatever reason, the Redskins weren't able to break through and attack them very well. Speaking of the Raiders' offense, Derek Carr, 19 for 31, only 118 yards, 3.8 yards per pass.
It's fucking garbage.
1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, sacked 4 times with this offensive line, sacked 4 times. That's why I've been saying that the Raiders' offensive line, I feel, is a little bit overrated. I was saying that at least before the season. And this game, Washington's front four was dominant, and it really should, like Ryan Kerrigan, Preston Smith, Ryan Anderson, Junior Gillette, they were sending pressure all day. Derek Carr couldn't get rid of the ball. Only had one touchdown, of course, 2 interceptions forced from pressure, 52.9 passer rating, and they couldn't run the ball either. They could get no push. Marshawn Lynch, 6 carries for 18 yards. Cordell Patterson, 2 for 5. So they did nothing there. And then the receivers, where in the hell is Amari Cooper? Is this guy going to show up this season? 1 catch for 6 yards. Michael Crabtree got hurt in this game. 1 catch for 7 yards. They're 2 top targets. They're one of the best duos in the NFL at the receiver position. Totaled 2 catches for 13 yards, Dilly Vanilla.
That's almost Giants in the first 2-week numbers.
A couple of things, can I say?
Yeah.
That were not on the stats line.
Yeah.
Chris Thompson on a 3rd and 20 broke out on a 74-yard play. That was a huge turning point in the game. Brandon Breland had an outstanding game. Derek Carr was lucky to get 2 interceptions, only have 2. He could have had 4. There was a couple of drops that the Redskins left some turnovers, as I said and yeah, front four very underrated in Washington, quite frankly.
Yeah, they improved a ton in the offseason. That's why I thought the Redskins would be an improved team this year.
And their offensive line did a really good job today. So, and as a Seahawks fan, I understand what it's like. So the offensive line blocks and pushes forward, and you're allowed to move forward. That's neat.
That's a novel concept.
That's a novel concept. We don't have that in Seattle. We have Olay!
You have basketball players here.
There may be
for the Raiders defense, Corey James had 18 tackles. Khalil Mack had 14, a sack, tackle for loss, 3 quarterback hits, but they lost the game.
He's a beast. No,
he's a beast?
He is a beast.
Yes, he is.
He's
one of the top 3 defensive players in the league. Carl Joseph, 15 tackles. A lot of secondary guys making tackles in this game. David Amerson had 9. What else? Nobody really played well outside of Khalil Mack on this defense. I guess you could say Corey James just because of the sheer number of tackles he had. David Amerson did have pass deflections. That's about it. I mean, the rest of the team, the rest of the defense is kind of like not like the defense we saw in week 1, more like the defense we saw in week 2 and last year. This Raiders defense isn't great, especially against the pass. They have improved a lot against the run. I'll give them that credit, and they can force teams to be one-dimensional. So if you're facing a team that isn't great passing the ball, the Raiders will, be able to slow them down. But when they face a team with this amount of passing volume and this much creativity and targets on the outside that Washington does have, some of these other teams, they'll be able to rip the Raiders apart. That's the biggest concern about the Raiders going forward. And I don't know how fixable it is because I just don't see the talent on the Raiders that it can really be fixable. And I don't see the coaching either really being able to fix it. But I do think that the Raiders have improved a little bit on defense. It's just this was not a good game for them at all. Definitely on the road, that struggles big time. And when they needed the stops, they weren't able to get off the field, like you brought up, like a 3rd and 20 from Chris Thompson. That Washington was able to control the ball the whole game, didn't allow the Raiders to get into a rhythm offensively, and the Redskins played a perfect game in this one offensively. Guys, what's your thoughts on some of the stars of the game?
DJ Swearinger belted Marshawn Lynch.
Yes.
Just clobbered Marshawn Lynch. I've never seen that guy get hit like that, but that was huge. Couple of muff punts by the Redskins late in the 3rd kept the Raiders in the game. Kauser had a good special teams game anyway. Got their 2 touchdowns. I think they need to use Jared Cook a little bit more. I think that would be something interesting. I think he's a good tight end and a good receiver that I think has to get involved a little bit more. He had a nice touchdown. And yeah, Brandon Breland had a pretty strong game. but it was a weird day, weird game. But there's a lot of really interesting things in Washington going forward. So, yeah, that's all I have.
I didn't watch this game. Derek Carr just struggled here. It was very disappointing to see. Chris Thompson, very happy to see his production, not as a running back, but as the wide receiver threat that he can be in that situation.
I started him in my league.
Good job.
Both of my leagues. And I'm going to lose, unfortunately, in one because, anyway. But, I'm going to win the other one.
That's good for you. Good for you.
He's not winning your predictions, though. So,
Not at all.
Tell me. No, you're 4-11. Tell me about the Michael Crabtree fact. I want to hear.
Okay, so I did some research here because you guys are,
and then we'll get to the comment.
You guys are bigger fans of Michael Crabtree than I am.
That's correct.
And so
he's good.
Well, I looked up against Denver and Kansas City. You know his last year.
Yeah, but Derek Carr hasn't played well against Denver, Kansas City either.
His best game was for a guy that's supposed to be one of the top receiver duels in the NFL. 6 catches, 60 yards.
Yeah.
I just don't think, to me, this is my thing. Crabtree can pad stats. Crabtree can catch. Crabtree's a receiver, but you put him up against an elite corner, he's not there.
You know what it is, Kev? He is like DeAndre Hopkins. He's like Des Bryant. He's not good with separation. He's good with battles one-on-one. He's good at catching the ball when, high in the air. If you need him to catch the ball in, the red zone, or, similar, Alshon Jeffrey, too, maybe a little bit. But I think Jeffrey's a little bit better.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I was going to say, those are also 2 of the top 5 defenses in the league. Not saying that as
not the Chiefs. I don't think the Chiefs are in there.
Really?
Personally. That's
really?
No. They give up too many yards.
Marcus Peters is considered one of the top corners.
Marcus Peters is one of the top 3
So he's matching up with him and probably Talib or something like that. So
yeah, so those are 2 of the top 3 corners in the league.
And I'm not going to give him, discredit. He's still playing in the NFL level, so you want to get production, but still. Crabtree is what we're saying is a top 20 receiver, not.
I just think I'm disappointed in Cooper. Cooper is supposed to be a guy that gets that separation, that is able to separate from those corners. Crabtree is the guy that's just like that red zone target more than anything and is a possession receiver.
And that's why he got 3 touchdowns last week.
Yeah, I'm disappointed in Cooper. He's had basically 3 bad games now. He had 1 touchdown in the first game. Besides that, he's really done nothing. Yeah. Why? What is up with Cooper?
What is up with the NFL?
What is up with the NFL? And we want to hear what's up with the NFL from the comment section. Dilly Vanilla, fill us in.
All right, comment section. What do we have here today? Chris Sanders says, love the videos. First comment. Thank you, brother. We appreciate that.
Thank you, Chris.
Love. Predator Magnus says, hey, what's up, brother?
Hey.
Bodo, with your favorite comment by Michael Cole tonight, John Cena is GOAT.
Oh, my God, bro. I'm going to rant on that when we get to the No Mercy review. Don't worry about
that one. He also says, fire Ben, trade Tomlin. Indeed. You can't trade a coach, but.
Wait, I think you meant it the other way around.
I'm pretty sure he meant it the other way around, but I'm going to take it as such. Predator says, Oakland simply got outplayed. Kirk deserves more respect. Both of those, I couldn't agree with you more.
It happens, man. Patriots got outplayed week 1. Raiders got outplayed now.
There you go. Bodo says, offensive bad, or is their crappy defense puts too much heat on the offense?
Sorry, say that again.
Is it that the Oakland offense is bad, or is it that their crappy defense
their offense isn't bad. They had a bad game. But I think we need to give a little bit more credit to the Redskins defense.
Yeah.
And I think the Raiders, whenever one side of the ball is bad, it puts stress on the other side unless you're extremely elite.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's been the Seahawks' problem, is their offense is so bad that their defense can't. Their defense is good, but they can't keep up with how bad their offense is. They're having to go out there all the time and
I would be
continue
tired.
to make 3 and outs and 3 and outs. They get tired. They get worn down. They mentally, it wears on you because you're like, shit, why do we even stop these guys? Our offense can't score anyways. So you know what I mean? That's part of it.
broken. I don't know why I said that.
No, the Raiders are fine.
No, I would say 70% goes to the Washington defense.
Washington played a good game.
Played a good game. Boss says, Boss 4775. Please tell me what a boss makes you. What does that mean? Also says maybe there's a lot of good football teams, just not any consistent ones.
That doesn't make sense. Good teams are consistent.
They're consistent. They're consistently mediocre. That's what I would say this league is right now.
It makes it entertaining, but it doesn't. I don't know.
Doesn't help out.
It really hurts picks.
Yes.
It hurts betting.
Yes.
It hurts fantasy.
I'm not trying to
everything.
Hey, bro, I'm 2-1 in fantasy. I'm very happy considering week 1 was the worst fantasy performance I've ever had. So very happy about that. Predator says every upset happened. Completely agree with us on that one. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, and more upsets could have happened.
Bodo says Raiders always do crappy going from west to east. The east.
I don't know about that because the Raiders were 8-0 on the road last year.
Again, that's very impressive. If you go, I know a little something about 8-0 on the road, but I mean,
oh no, wait, they might have been 7-1 because they lost in Kansas City. But
that's what it was. That's what it was. Predator says this is what happened. Oh wait, no, I'm not gonna talk about that. So. Tyler says Derek Carr choked under the lights. I would still have to give it to the Redskins defense. He did play pretty poor, but it's not like Eli Manning where it kind of cost them the game. Just saying.
Eli played good today.
He played 1 quarter of good football today.
He did.
He's probably still a bottom 3 quarterback, but he played.
He is.
You gotta give him some credit.
He
didn't throw an interception today.
Yes, he did.
Threw 2.
Oh, he did?
He threw 2. One was an absolutely atrocious one.
Oh yeah, okay, I remember now.
He's like, he didn't throw any interceptions. No, the first one was in coverage to Brandon Marshall. Should have threw it way too high. Second one, there was nobody there. So, let's see here.
Classic Eli. He throws so many interceptions, I don't remember them.
Bro, I'm telling you, this guy's the most overrated quarterback in NFL history.
He did throw for over 350 yards, which was one of the questions I think somebody asked.
Yes.
Bodo
Eli
threw for over 350 yards. I know for a fact that at least 3 did today. Brady, Eli, and Case Keenum.
Case Keenum. Let's go.
By the way, here's a fun stat. Russell threw for over 352 today.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Yep.
Really? He had to because they were behind the whole game.
Yeah.
Did they rush?
Yeah. Case Keenum has beaten Tampa Bay 3 consecutive years on 3 different teams.
That's got to be a record for
Case Keenum was unreal today.
That's something I never thought would come out of anybody's mouth.
Bro, he was unreal. I'm not even kidding you. He was throwing the ball. Like, it wasn't like he was just throwing like a screen pass for like 50. This guy was throwing the ball like 50 yards down the field.
Hey, that's something Sammy Biscuits could only dream of, okay?
Maybe Case needs to be the guy.
This is what they should know. We went from slamming this guy last week to now giving that. Well, this is what we should do. Sammy Biscuits.
Hey, man, the Steelers' defense hasn't been their issue, which is bad. Which is like bad news for the Steelers because I don't think that defense is that good. So
this is what should happen. Sammy Biscuits should be in there for first and second down, and then if they're like in the third and long situation, just throw Casey in there. For like
Case just to sling it.
The Bears ran for over 210 yards today.
Oh,
I know, but they only they give up like 20 points, 24 points.
Wait, who ran for 210 yards?
The Chicago Bears.
Chicago Bears. That's what I mean. And that's not even the worst part of their team. The worst part of their team is their offense right now.
Yeah.
And they've played who? The Bears, the Browns, and the Vikings with Case on the road.
Let's get to some more comments here. Chris says the city is just as shocked as everybody. He's a DC fan. By the performance, could be the most underrated team in the NFL with this new D. Interesting.
You know what? I was a big fan of the Redskins in the offseason. I should have picked them to go to the playoffs. At last minute, I switched it. But I like the Redskins. I like their offense. I like Kirk Cousins. I think they have, a pretty underrated coach in Gruden, and I think their defense is very improved, but I want to see more of them. I want to see more consistency from that offense going forward. I just don't want to see one good game because that's the only good game they've had so far this season. So I want to see how it continues.
For me, I think my problem is I wasn't a big fan of the Giants, but I bought into them enough to believe that they were going to be a playoff team.
Yeah.
That was me. That because everyone was high on that defense. And I'm like, when I did my picks, I'm like, maybe I'm missing something. So, but
It's the offense really that hasn't been good. But
it's weird, man. It is a weird week here.
it's a weird NFL in general. Are the Redskins the best team in the NFC East, or is that the Eagles?
I would still go with the Eagles. It's just me. Got to see how the Cowboys respond tomorrow, but they're not really going to respond against the Cardinals. So I would say right now it's the Eagles at number 1. Have to wait till tomorrow to see what number 2 is, and we definitely know what number 4 is. Because
Eli's number 4. Not the Giants.
I have a hunch.
I've always felt this way. I've always hated the Giants, and I don't really hate the other 2 teams. I respect them. I mean, I hate them when we face them.
Can I just say again how much better the Giants played with Odell?
Bro, the man got 2 touchdowns and he pissed on the field. And then he had a way better salute later that nobody talked about. But
that's why you have to do really stupid stuff to get noticed.
Because that's what the world has come to.
Yes.
Appreciate that. Tyler Jones says, is Jordan Reed playing next week?
I have no idea.
I don't want him to. He needs to rest. This guy cannot play.
His foot's messed up.
If he keeps coming back or too early,
I think after this week, I think they're going to take their time because they saw how well Vernon Davis played. So I think they'll keep him out as long as they can. Yeah, they play a big game too. It's Monday Night Football
against Kansas City.
Down in Kansas City. So it's a big game.
That's a big one. Crypto says, "What about No Mercy?" Well, No Mercy.
It's coming, Chris.
We're gonna get there. Also, Arian says it's boss time.
Enzo.
Oh, we're gonna talk about him. Predator says Giants, Cleveland, and Chargers completely suck.
Fucking Chargers, bro. They pissed me off.
Yeah, you thought they were a playoff team.
Young Ho is the reason why they lost 2 games. And now Phillip Rivers throws 4 picks. And they still only lose by like a touchdown. Then Kareem Hunt grips a 75-yarder at the end of the game.
Bro, this is why this team is the most unlucky team ever. It goes from we have too many damn injuries to our kickers trying to fuck us over. That's how it works. And then Phillip Rivers, who is undoubtedly one of their best assets, goes and throws 4 interceptions. I don't know. Adam McIntyre says Eli has no run game or any back that can pass catch.
Darkwa was pretty good today, actually.
Shane Vereen can catch. I don't know if you remember. He was pretty good on New England.
Shane Vereen is good, and that is definitely not the reason they are struggling right now. That is like the 74th thing.
That's like the 5th reason.
74th. Because their offense.
Okay, offensive line, Eli, terrible coaching.
Oh, fucking McAdoo. Can we?
Eli. Run game.
So 8th. Okay. By the way, they have not scored 30 points or more since Ben McAdoo became the head coach.
Because he sucks.
That's 20 games if you include the playoffs last year. 20. The most they've scored is 27. What the fuck? Is Kirk Cousins top 5?
Top 10?
Top 10.
Top 10.
Top 10 for sure, I would say. Predator says Ryan Mallett did better than Joe Flacco. What the fuck? This is the day we've been having today.
Ryan Mallett is the worst quarterback. He's one of the worst quarterbacks.
You would definitely know.
Joe Flacco is one of the most overrated quarterbacks currently in the NFL.
Jacoby Brissett. Let's give a shout out to Jacoby.
You know what? Give the man.
I also started him today.
That's
big win for Jacoby.
Tyler Jones has my favorite comment here so far. You cannot defend Eli Manning. Yes, you cannot. Let's see here. I don't know how to pronounce this. So I'm just gonna say Patel says I picked Oakland to win against the Redskins. I'm so mad, as much as everybody else is. Chris says Skins could pull up the upset, if I can talk, next offset? Monday night. Offset can pull up the upset.
I don't know. I don't know. I'd like them to. I like the Redskins, but I don't know. Tough matchup.
I don't think so. If I'm going
right now, one of the top 5 players in the National Football League.
He's MVP.
Who is?
Kareem Hunt is one of the top 5.
Oh yeah, he's the MVP right now.
He's definitely
it's Tom. I would go with Tom.
Might be Brady.
Especially after today. If it wasn't for him.
I think Brady has like 1,100 yards, which is like 300 more than anyone else in the league.
Already? Fucking hell. I mean, he threw for so many yards today.
Yeah, it's Brady or Hunt, one or the other.
It's one of the two. But it's even more impressive. You know what's weird? The two guys that are in the MVP race are both like 19 years age difference, or like 18.
Yeah. Oh, Deshaun Watson was 6 when he started, I think he's 1 year older than me. He might be 1 or 2 years older than me.
It's also the second today was the second matchup between the defending national champion quarterback.
I think he's 2 years older than me.
The second matchup between the defending national champion quarterback and the defending Super Bowl quarterback.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
The other one was Aaron Rodgers versus Cam Newton in 2011. Just like to put that out there. And actually, they almost won that game. Houston almost won that game, but
they did it because Brady.
They did because Brady, who is 40 years old,
Watson was really impressive though. He made some of the flukiest plays I've ever seen in my life, but he was impressive nonetheless.
Hey, 22 of 33, 301 yards and 2 touchdowns. He did have 2 interceptions, but
like,
I mean,
nine of those completions were like him like running around and chucking it like across the field.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that Eli Manning we're talking about?
Yes. like three of them were like one play in particular was like 3rd and 15. He dodged 4 people for a sack, then threw it, and it was complete. And it was for like first down.
That sounds like Super Bowl 42. I'm getting flashbacks. But, I mean, shit. That's
I do every time a quarterback does that to my team.
I saw it when Carson Wentz did it week 1 against Nelson Aguilar. I was like, what? Nelson Aguilar can catch the football? And then I realized, oh, wait, this is a more impressive play for Carson Wentz. But, I mean, it's nice. It's nice. I think that's all we need to talk about on this.
All right. Okay, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for joining us here live for the recap. We're going to go ahead and do some No Mercy talk. We're going to talk about that big pay-per-view for WWE. So if you're a wrestling fan, go head over there for the recap. It's coming up real quick, probably within 5 to 10 minutes. Thanks, guys, for joining us here for the Redskins Raiders recap for Week 3 of the Sunday Night Football. Redskins, of course, take it in dominating fashion, 27-10. It was a good one for the Redskins. Let's see if they can build off that. And for the Raiders fans out there, don't worry too much. It was a tough game for you. But I don't believe that your offense will be this bad again. So don't worry too much about it. Mitch, Kev, Dilly Vanilli, peace.
Head scratching week.